factor that was mostly responsible for my success was clarity. Clarity is power. Just remember, whenever you have a wish or desire and you don't have it clearly written down and defined into the last detail, the problem is that you're most likely not going to get it. Okay, so clarity is power. Clarity will help you. Now, this session is also about goal setting. And I want to encourage you to set your goals. And I want to give you a little story about my own life. When I was in Malta in 2004, back with my wife and my son, I was sitting at the pool and I was writing down my goals. And some of those goals were kind of hard to achieve, like 100 employees or become a millionaire and drive a Porsche and things like that. And so I was writing down 10 goals that I wanted to achieve in 12 months. Now, when I got back from the holidays, I put my goal list into a drawer and I kind of forgot about it. I mean, I was still continuing to work on my goals, but then 2 years later, I happened to find the list again and I took it out of the drawer and I looked at it. And 7 of those 10 goals I could cross off. And those were not easy goals. And the last 3 I almost had as well. And so I was surprised, and it was an eye-opener for me because it was like, wow, well, if I make a decision, then things will happen that way because the universe will help you to make those happen. And so if you have not written down any goals, and maybe you've heard this a million times, I encourage you, write them down. If you don't write them down, it's never going to happen. And here's a question for you. If from today, things stayed exactly the same 5 years in the future, would you be happy? Most likely not. So not writing down a goal is not helping, obviously. So you need to write them down. Now, what does that mean? So we have thoughts, we have dreams, we have wishes, okay? And they are in our head, in our mind, but they are merely wishes. The simple fact of writing it on a piece of paper, okay, on a pad, or in your journal, is going to take them from the physical, the spiritual world into the physical world. And that's why I want to encourage you to write them down. And the next step you should do is you should make a phone call, or you should take some action, find something out, order a brochure, or whatever it takes, or go see that house, even if you can't afford it today. So you need to do something in the physical world. And if you set out the intention every single day by saying, oh, I would like to have this, then you're moving closer to your goals. You can do, or be anything in this world. Anything. The world is like a big buffet, okay? Everything is available. Everything is available in abundance, but you need to make a decision, okay? So you can't eat the whole buffet. You need to choose what exactly you want to have. You can't have everything, but you can have anything that you want, okay? So that's a big difference. Money is available like sand on the beach, but you need to make the decision to go get it. Okay, and that's what goal setting is all about. I want to give you 3 examples of good and bad goal setting. Okay, so a bad example would be, I want a new car. Okay, well, great. And now what? Or you want a new car, you want a BMW 550i, the price is $95,000, fully loaded with everything, and you want it by January 1st, 2020 as a reward for your promotion as team leader, for example, okay? So you define it clearly, which type, you have clarity, by when, you set a timeline, and then also the reason why, okay? Next example, oh, I want to lose some weight. Well, eat less or go to the gym. Doesn't really work that way. I want to lose 20 pounds of fat and gain 10 pounds of muscle and have a body fat percentage of 15% by May 31st of this year, so I can be ready for beach season to show off my new body, for example. Okay, so you have it clearly defined. Or another example, oh, I want to be rich. Oh, there's $1. Now you're $1 richer. No, that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so if you want to be rich, you need to define it. Okay, I want to have $1 million in cash in my account by December 31st, 2020, so I can retire early and make my mother proud, or whatever it might be. Okay, so you need timelines, you need clarity, you need details. And after that, obviously, you need to have a plan of action. But first is the goal setting process, and it needs to be clear. And I always like, people always say, like, I don't want to set a goal and then I'm disappointed because I can't achieve it. Well, let me tell you this. There are no unrealistic goals. There are only unrealistic timelines. So you can have anything you want. It just might take longer. Or maybe you're unsure about how much it's going to take. So I encourage you to set big goals. And even if it takes longer, that's not the end of the world. So if you make a plan of action and you can break down any big goal into small little steps, and each day you attain a little step, then you're going to be much further. I also want to talk about common mistakes when setting goals. Number one is fuzzy goals. The goals are not clearly defined. Number two is unrealistic goals. And as I said, unrealistic goal is something like, I want to be a millionaire next month, okay? It's not going to happen. Obviously then, unrealistic timelines. And here's something I learned in business. Everything that you think you want to accomplish, okay? Let's say you have a business venture and you want to accomplish it. It always is going to take twice as long as you think it will, and it's going to cost you twice as much as you think it will. And if you do that, and if you have that in mind, you can set a much better plan and because typically that's the truth, unfortunately. And it's going to be more expensive and it's going to take longer. But that's not the end of the world. You can still achieve that goal. You just have to be realistic about it. And once you do that, you can plan better, okay? And you're not going to get discouraged or disheartened. The next one is if you set other people's goals that are not yours because they're expected of you, because your father wants you to achieve those goals, or whoever, okay, your boss. You need to own your goals, okay? And the last one is setting negative goals. Like, oh, I don't want to be fat anymore, or something like that, okay? That's not, because your mind can only process positive things and not negative things. So don't set negative goals. Okay, those are the most important factors, and make sure that you have clarity and that you set realistic timelines. Now, one of the things that I always encounter with people is that they say, yeah, I have goals, I want to achieve that, I want to become a millionaire, or I want to have that car or that house or whatever it's going to be. And the problem is that they're not really excited about it. They don't jump out of bed every morning and say, I want to work and do this and achieve that. And the reason for it is because they don't have any real reasons why you want to achieve that goal. Because reasons are stronger than just the goal itself. You need to have a reason, and let's say, yeah, it would be nice to have a new car, but I'm still okay with having my old piece of shit. So with my old car, okay. So you need to have a strong enough must, not just a nice to have. And if you have that, then you will be motivated. And the reason why people are not motivated to achieve their goals is because they don't have enough compelling goals, okay? Think about this statement, and my boss years ago told me this. There are no people who are lazy. There's only people who have no real goals, okay? So laziness doesn't exist if you have motivating goals. So ask yourself, why are you not motivated? Maybe the goal itself is not motivating enough for you because you don't have any reasons, because maybe there's somebody else's goal, or because you don't really want to achieve that particular goal. So be honest with yourself and choose the right goals. Now the next part is more business oriented, okay? So when you set business goals, and let's say you have a funnel where let's say you make 100 phone calls every day to your prospective customers. And out of those 100 calls, let's say you have here a funnel where you say, okay, 95 say no, but 5 people say yes. And then out of those 5 people, you have certain phases and so forth. And in the end, let's say you get 1 client. Okay, so let's say that is your strategy. Okay, you start with 100 calls and then so forth. And when it comes to goal setting for a business, everything is a numbers game. Okay, remember that. Everything is a numbers game. So when you start to think in numbers, things will change. Okay, you get less emotional. But here's also the thing. So don't assume. So let's say here, I just made this assumption here. I said, well, if I do this every day, I should have 20 clients every month. But maybe the reality is that you're not going to have 20 clients. Maybe you're only going to have 4 or 5 clients at the end of the month. So is it wishful thinking, or are those the real numbers? And this is very important. Always ask yourself, are you kidding yourself? Are you hoping and wishing when you're planning or strategizing? Or is it the reality? Okay? And once you stop delusioning yourself, once you stop just using wishful thinking, that's when real change is going to happen. So whatever sales targets you might have, you might often be kidding yourself. 80% of the people, they can't plan properly because they are too optimistic in their own plan. Okay, because they don't want to be negative and they want to achieve their goals, which is all nice and great, but the reality is that it's not going to happen. So once you know that, once you know, okay, well, my plan isn't the right plan, it's totally wishful thinking, that's when you say, okay, now that I know that, what do I need to do to ensure that I can achieve my goals? What do I need to do additionally or change or improve so that I can achieve the goal that I set out to do originally? Okay, and that's when you can make sure you achieve your goals. Now there's lots of goals that we can set for ourselves. We can have personal goals, business goals, income goals, financial goals, thing goals, relationship goals, fitness and health goals, and spiritual goals. And we often forget about those. And I want to encourage you, obviously, to set goals for each area of your life. And sometimes, it might be too much, or you think, I can't do everything. So ask yourself the following question. It's the rocking chair exercise. If you didn't have that goal, if you didn't go for that kind of goal, and you're an old man or an old woman, in your 90s, and you're in the rocking chair, okay, on your porch of your house, and you think back of your life and of everything that you've done, would you regret not having done it? Or would you be okay if you didn't do it? Okay, so ask yourself that question. And if the answer is yes, then you absolutely must do it, okay? Because you can't go through life regretting things. You want to do everything. And sometimes we put things into the future, and because of that, we never end up doing them. And then later in life, we think, had I only done this when I was younger, okay? So don't put things off. If there's something you want to do in your life, then do it today. Sometimes all you need to do is go back to basics. Because most truths in life are simple. Let's say you want to lose weight, okay? It's not rocket science. Losing weight is doable, okay? Exercise and nutrition. Decrease the number of calories and go to the gym every day, for example. Or if you want to find love, okay? Well, you need to do something about it. It just doesn't happen like that. You have to go out and meet people, or exercise, or socialize, or whatever it is to do. Or the last thing, if you want to make money, well, what is making money? Making money is selling a product or service to someone. So all you need to do is to find a product or service and then sell it. And the more you sell it, the more money you're going to make. So most things in life are simple, and most truths are simple. And sometimes we are too complicated, and we overthink things. Okay? So if there's something you want to achieve, go out and do it. And sometimes just do it, and without overthinking too much, is going to help you to have the momentum that you need, because you need momentum